Last chorus for Your Ears Only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Eddie Robinson with this quote from the news. We're supposed to have snow. We're built for it. That was Chicago resident Gina Walker on the Midwest's first crippling snowstorm in nearly a year, which caused 400 miles of road closures on Interstate 80 alone. Now this.
Forget troubles and just get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Sing hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. The sun is shining, come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting to take your hand. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. We're going to the promised land.
For some people, the prescription to get happy can involve liquor, drugs, sex, or maybe shopping. But another path leads to a new off-Broadway show celebrating a turn-of-the-century composer who wrote that song, or at least the music, Harold Arlen. A Cantor's son from Buffalo, New York, Arlen also wrote Somewhere Over the Rainbow and all the other songs in that Hollywood classic, The Wizard of Oz. He also wrote hit tunes including Come Rain or Come Shine, Stormy Weather, and The Girl Who Got Away.
The Wonderful Wizard of Song plays Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at St.Luke's Theater, located at 308 West 46th Street in Manhattan, including home movies of Judy Garland and other stars on the Wizard of Oz set. The show is performed by a male trio calling themselves the Three Crooners. Creator of the Crooners and the show is George Bugatti. And for Your Ears Only, he joins us now. George, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. Lovely to be here.
This show already has a history. When did you launch it, and where around the country has it played?
It was launched in June of 2006 at the Ford Amphitheater in Los Angeles. It was a concert version then, and we were fortunate enough to tour it at about 15 different performing arts centers across America, some very nice ones at that.
And what led to creation of the Three Crooners, including you, Marcus Goldhaber, and Joe Shepard? Were you all school chums or companions on Broadway audition lines?
No, I came to New York. I'm originally from New York, but came here for the show, and we casted it here. We had some calls, Playbill and Backstage, and some various outlets, and the director had some contacts, and we just, we cast the net, as they say.
So
we were fortunate.
This is the New York production as opposed to other singers at other places.
That's right.
Did it take much work to have special arrangements written for these familiar songs to be sung by a trio?
Actually, a lot of care was put into the arrangement. Sam Arlen, who's, of course, the composer's son, and I were partners on the show, made sure that every arrangement was cared for and that we had the best arrangers that we could find. And so, yes, indeed, a lot of care was put into these arrangements, which vary anywhere from 4 pieces to a 21-piece big band.
You mentioned working with Arlen's son, Sam, and of course he must have been the source of those home movies from the Wizard of Oz set. Let's talk about some of Arlen's family history that you have to impart, starting with statistics. How many songs for how many movie musicals and other shows?
I think it's over 550 songs. Of course, many different shows, many reviews, many movies. I don't have the actual count in front of me. Of course, we know the big ones, but close to 600 tunes.
Also, how some of the songs were written, one actually in a bathroom?
That's a true story. He was in his agent's office. I believe William Morris, and the teletype came in saying that they needed a song for a new picture. And he would always carry jot paper with him because he never knew when the urge would strike to write a melody. And he ran in to be alone and shut the door and literally right there in the men's room wrote one of the great songs that we all know.
Which is?
Of course, you'll have to come see the show to find out what it is.
Oh, well, and a few Torch song classics, though written for films, actually had a secret backstory involving the love life of lyricist Johnny Mercer.
Yes, well, of course, Johnny and Harold wrote so many great songs together, and Johnny, had a liaison with one of the big stars of our time, and so, and I'm sure a lot of there's a lot of lyricists draw from their personal experiences. The same was true with Johnny Mercer.
Well, indeed, we interviewed one of his biographers, and that love of his life was Judy Garland. Even some black performers were impressed at the African-American flavor that a cantor son like Arlen could impart to a song. Talk about that and how Arlen developed that facility, that interest.
Sure. Well, it was, I guess, as they would say, a perfect musical storm. His father was a cantor in Buffalo, New York, and his father was very strict in what Harold would listen to. And the only thing he could really listen to around the house was classical music. However, they rented the lower floor of their home to an African-American family, and what they were listening to down there were the new sounds of jazz. And Harold would sneak down there. He was good friends with the young children in that family, and he would listen to this music. So he had three distinct musical styles. He had his father's cantorial improvisations, he had the classical music, and he had these new sounds of jazz. If you listen to Get Happy, in the minor, it's ba 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 ba, which sounds like something that a cantor would sing to his congregation. So it was that influence between his father and the classical music and the new sounds of jazz that created a sound that is distinctly and uniquely Arlen.
George Bugatti is creator of The Three Crooners and The Wonderful Wizard of Songs, the music of Harold Arlen. Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at St. Luke's Theater, 308 West 46th Street in New York.
Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy, get ready for the judgment day.
And this has been For Your Ears Only.